I'ma just go ahead and run it. I'm just doing a test run, y'all. Just trying to see what the problem is here. You got to know all there is about doing stuff like this. Switch things over. See, stuff like that, you just got to figure it out. Sometimes you run into problems like that, but I'm just doing a sound check.
Say, man, I go by the name of MisterClassics, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, and I got something new, fresh, and exciting for y'all, and I think you gon' like it. Yeah. Welcome to the Jambox. Welcome to the Jambox 101. Welcome to the Jambox. Yeah. Welcome to the Jambox. Learn from me and get the trunk knocking. Welcome to the Jambox. Learn from me and get the trunk knocking. Welcome to the Jambox. Learn from me and get the trunk knocking. Welcome to the Jambox. Learn from me and get the trunk knocking. Yeah. Learn how to be great and be the best you can be. And what you do. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Raising an army of greatness around here. What I'm talking about, yeah. And here's the man of the hour, MisterClassics. And welcome to Jambox 101. Yeah, learn from me and get the trunk knocking.
Say man, how y'all doing? I go by the name of MisterClassics, and welcome to the introduction video of Jambox 101. I'm an artist, producer, writer, engineer, independent entrepreneur of the Masterminds Empire, and yours truly, my new educational platform, Jambox 101. And this is the platform where I'll be teaching beginning, intermediate level artists and producers how to build your own studio, how to shop, mixing techniques, production techniques, sound business decision making, problem solving techniques. So I'm going to dive right on into it, tell you my story, how I got inspired to do it. Well, you know, my parents, they were music lovers. My grandparents, you know, my parents, they were music lovers. So I was exposed to a lot of the gospel music, R&B music, you know, from the 60s all the way to the 70s era, you know, from Ray Charles all the way up to Rick James, Confunctions, Isley Brothers, you name it, OJ's, Temptation, Ohio Players. So I was brought up on a lot of music like that coming up in my childhood, excuse me. But and that just cultivated in my spirit and, you know, in my soul and my spirit. And I listened to it. Then you got on up to Michael Jackson. And then, you know, the rap started coming in on the scene, And so when the rap came on the scene, you know, the North up North was dominating with it. That and, you know, the West Coast, you know, you had Dr. Dre. You know, you had NWA, you know, you had DJ Quick, Too Short. Then down south, you had Luke. You know, you had Magic Mike. You had the Ghetto Boys. And then uptown, you had Eric B. Rakim, LL Cool J, you know, Public Enemy, you know, all of them, like, you know, Grandmaster Flash, Full Force, you know, Eric B. and Rakim. You had all that going on. So, all that cultivated in me. And, so I'm gonna get, in this story, I'm gonna be giving you landmarks in Atlanta to show you like where I lived at originally. I originally grew up in Decatur, Georgia, and then eventually migrated to a street they call Confederate. They changed the name of that street, but Confederate is over near Zoo, Atlanta, and over there for a few years, and then migrated from there to Perry Homes. And when I got to Perry Homes, that's when I'm gonna go back to Confederate. Right over Confederate, I hadn't really got into it yet, but me and my mom, we was at a flea market in Decatur when I was a kid one time, and we went in there in the flea market right there on Memorial Drive, right there by Belvedere Plaza in Decatur. We went in the flea market, and she bought me an organ out that flea market. So I started with that, and we got the organ, and we moved on to Perry Homes, and I started messing around with the organ and playing with the organ. And then later on, she got me this sampling keyboard. It's called a Casio SK1. Similar to the one Pimp C had. I read the book, the Pimp C book that came out. Read that book and realized we had the same type of equipment. I was the first one in Perry Home to have that sampling keyboard. My mom bought me that, and she bought me another one. But the sampling keyboard, you can hit the button and it'll make a noise. A bing, it'll make a noise. And you say your name, and once it simply catch it, whatever word you say when you hit the keys, it was going to say it in whatever octave, so I was messing around with that right there. And so I would get home from school every day, do my homework, get home from school, and while everybody else was playing, I was sitting at that kitchen table, knocking at them keys, playing beats, and I would play the rap and the R&B songs I like by ear. I would match it up to whatever beat was in that keyboard. And so do that right there. But really inspired me with the production thing, I got to say, was Magic Mike out of Orlando. When I heard that music right there, I went to the record store and bought every last one of that man cassette tapes. Him, Luke, Too Short, just to name a few, UGK. I went in there and bought their album, bought their cassette tape. It's a few I can now. Spice One, I bought all of them, Nemesis, Nemesis 2. I got to say Nemesis. They were banging too, man. But just to name a few. So I got it cultivated with doing my own production, and I was just producing first. And so I would listen to the radio station on Friday and listen to all the rappers, Eric B and Rakim, everybody was getting on there jamming, NWA, Dr. Dre, you had the World Class Record Crew, you had all them, LL Cool J, Cool Mo D, Houdini, you name it. So that was circulating on the radio. So, man, I used to just listen to them songs, and I would get in the mirror, act like I was a rapper, man. You know what I'm saying? Put my shades on, have my little get up together, and I act like I was a rapper, but I was lip singing. I couldn't rap, couldn't do that. But finally, around about the age of 10, I got on into it, and I started writing my own little raps, and then next thing you know, I started putting the rap with the beat and started trying to do it like that. And next thing you know, there it was. I was writing, rapping, and everything. And to tie it all in together, okay, that was going on the whole while when I went to Benteen Elementary School to go to went to Benteen, then transferred from Benteen to Stanton, and then transferred from Stanton to where we moved into Perry Home to Clara Maxwell Pitts. So it like everything changed for me, because for the most part, living in Decatur, I was pretty much to myself, stayed to myself. I had little friends or whatever, but when I got to Perry Home, I was just open to a whole community, a whole culture and everything. So, did that right there. And the first day when I went to school at Pitts, I noticed when I got out of school, every day they had this drum band out there slamming, man, and me and my best friend at the time, Boom, we was out there, and we were standing and just watching play. So I looking at it, I said, man, you know, they jam, and I like that right there, man. I'm listening to it, and you hearing the cadence and the tom slamming and the snares going off. They got the cane going off, and I said, man, I want to be a part of this. So, you know, I let Mr. Thomason know, that was the drum instructor at the time. I let him know. I was like, man, I want to join this right here. He's like, okay, you can join. You just got to get you a drum. So I'm like, okay, all right. You know, ain't think nothing. I said, okay, now I got to get a drum, you know. So, you know, I kept, you know, we kept watching it up to, you know, kept watching the band play, kept watching them, you know, and I was studying everything. I was still going home doing my little producing thing on at the kitchen table at home. But one day I walked home from school. Now everybody that stayed, you know, went to Archer or Pitts didn't know it. Two ways you could go walking and get to Perry home. You walk straight down Perry Boulevard, or you can cut back and go down Mary George. And when you get to Mary George, you just walk down to the right, go down that hill, walk through the houses, and when you get to the end, it's a street at the end, and it's a pathway that go from houses to Perry home. And the way the pathway was made, it was like kudzu. It was all around, you know, and you had one dirt pathway that went through there. So I walked home by myself that day. I walked home by myself, and I went through the pathway. And when I got walking through the pathway, halfway through there, I seen something on the ground. So I was like, hey, what that is right there? And I got up on it. And when I got up on it, guess what it was? It was a drum body. But it was a bass drum off of a drum set, but not the big one. It was the small type drum, bass drum off the drum set, or that big flow tone that sit with the legs on it. It was like that. So I looked at it, checked it out. I said, man, you know, okay. It got the rim, it had the bolts, it had everything. It just didn't have no drum head on it. On the other end, it was just wide open on the other end, you know. So I picked the drum up and took it home. When I took it home, I called my grandmama, you know, God rest her soul. You can see her picture. If you go on my website at MisterClassics.net, you can see the story about, you know, in the bio too. But if you want to see a picture of her, you go to MisterClassics.net, go to the bio, and you can see a picture of her. Her name is Narvis T. Scott. She's one of my closest and best friends, man. You know, she believed in anything I did with the music, whether it was rapping or whether it was singing or what I would, you know, anything, she would with it, you know. So I called her. So, you know, I got on the phone. I said, Grandma, I want to be in the band, but I found the drum in the pathway going home, and the instructor said, you know, I can be in the band. He said, you just got to get your drum. And I said, well, I got the drum, but it needs some parts to it. And I was trying to see if you could help me out and get the parts or whatever. So she said, okay, I'll pick you up this weekend. So, you know, my grandmama, she worked at the post office. So she just get to work the graveyard shift and get off in the morning. And so she come from Hateville to Perry home and come and get me. And then we loaded the drum up. It was in the morning, Saturday morning. And we went from Perry home back to Mechanicsville. And we went to the music shop over there. If you ever seen the movie ATL, the part of the movie ATL where T.I. bought Laura London and that jury from the pawn shop and they were clowning them about it, man. It was that same building, but at the time, it was a music shop and like I guess a pawn shop at the same time. But anyway, we went in there, we took the drum in there. And so the owner was like, okay, all right, you just need a drum head, you need a set of mallets, you need a strap, you need a key and a drum, of course the drum head. So we got everything and took the drum and we took it and loaded back in the car. We went from Mechanicsville, went back to Adamville, Went back to Adamville. And so my grandmama, she went on to the back and went on to bed, I wish she, because she just getting off work, went on to bed. I stayed in the living room, unboxed everything, unbagged everything, took the rim off, took the bolts off, took the rim off. I put the drum head on, put the rim on, locked the bolts on. So when I locked the bolts on, I adjusted it, you know what I mean, and got it to sound like how I wanted it to sound. Now, mind you, I'm a little run, I'm like 10, 8, 9, something like that, and I got this big old bass cannon in the living room. So I ain't want to bother my grandmama too much. You know what I mean? So I got a tone sound loaded up on the studio that where it sounded like it. But I got in the living room and I tuned it up. And I don't know why I ain't got no sound. I don't know why it ain't coming through. I don't need that going down. For some dumb reason or another, we ain't got no sound. Okay. We can't have that. But like I said again, you have a problem like this in the studio and you got to know how to address them. That's the bottom line to it. So we're going to see what's going on. Okay. I don't know why. Oh, I just learned something new. But anyway, I fixed it. But the drum, I tuned it, like that right there. Got it how I wanted to sound. So once I got it how it sounded, I said, well, I ain't gonna bother my grandmama no more. I'm gonna wake up out of sleep. So I left the drum alone. And so after that, I stayed on over there over the weekend. I stayed on over there, and she took me to school Monday morning. I loaded the drum up, and I'm telling you, got out of there, man. I ain't but 4 foot something, 80 pounds, and I got this big old bass cannon on my shoulder. I'm walking there. I'm like, man, they finna get it today. You know what I'm saying? Come through there with that bass cannon. I'm like, boy, they finna get it out of school today. They ain't heard that yet, So I went to my music teacher, Mr. Thomas. I said, I got the drum, man. So he said, okay, cool. Load it up, and he said he put it in the music room. I locked the room up, and when you get through at the school, you come pick your drum up, come and meet me out there. So okay, all right. Went on through school or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Went through school. I was like, okay, if it'll be on now. You know what I'm saying? End of the day, school came. I went and got my drum. They was already up there in the drum line. They was already up there going. Went on and got my drum. Came on out there and lined up. Put me on the end. And he said, I set my drum up and he stood in front of me. Took my mallets. He said, now, this is what I want you to play. Gave me this pattern to play. Now, mine, I'm already been producing. I already know about making beats. I've been rapping. I already know it. So I'm going to quit learning. So he said, he gave me a minute. He said, this is what I want you to play right here. And this is the K. He said. So he gave me that. And when he gave me them counts right there, when he gave me that pattern, I went down into it. I went smooth them first 16. But by the time I played about a minute, man, I was bamming down on their head, man. I was giving it to them, man. That thing, yeah, man, I was slamming them drums, man. Sound like a dang on Cadillac, one of them dope boy Cadillac coming down the street. But yeah, man, I did that right there. And so I did that. We did that for about a year. And we used to play in events at the school. They had a program at the school called Mayday. And doing Mayday, everybody liked Mayday, man. Because that day, when you went to school, you wasn't doing no work. You just went in, you went to breakfast, and you sit in that classroom, and then everybody said, come on out. You come on out, and we get set up, and we end up playing, we playing loop, but we can't say the word, but we were playing the beat, So, we did have fun with that, man. And, like, that area, what I liked about that area, that community, was it was a music culture based area. Come to find out, you know, my stepdad, Matthew Carmichael, you know, he gone to be with the Most High. But he told me, he dropped it on me one time. He said, you know, Gladys Knight went to Archer High and lived in this community before she became famous. I said, really? I was like, yeah, man. He said, yeah. So that made me proud to know that I come from the humble beginnings of somebody that came on to be a great, you know, a legend of, you know, an icon, you know, one of Don Cornelius' favorite, you know. And so so after the drum band went down and stopped, they had strings going on. And so I got in the strings, I picked the upright bass. So you know the upright bass, that's the bass that the Cool Cat playing on Tupac So Many Tears, you know. So I played that, played it with the bow. I learned how to plug it. I learned how to read sheet music. I did that for a while. And we would go to the Atlanta Symphony and watch them, you know, play. And then we would have events and stuff that we went to that we performed at. And we did that. And so did that for about from the 5th to the 6th. Then I stopped. I didn't want to do nothing else no more. I mean, the teacher, you know, music teacher would come and get everybody in class and everybody going the strings. And I just sat there. He looking at me like, man, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, you going? What's up? What's up? You coming? You playing? What's, you know? All right. And so during that time when I took that hiatus of going from strings and playing the drums, the rap started cultivating, you know what I mean? That started coming up more. I'm going home, I'm listening to the jam Friday night when I get home. I'm listening to the radio station Friday night when I get home. From the time I get home from school all the way to night, all the way to 10 o'clock at night or whatever. I'm just listening to that rap, man, listening to all that, you know, that music coming through there. And so next thing you know, my rap started cultivating a little bit more. I started writing a little bit more. And we had this program, we had this assembly at Pitts where we had to write this test about the ITBS test. And so you had a couple of rappers up there, you know what I mean, with me, you know what I'm saying, Bobby Slade, you know what I'm saying, what's up, Bobby Slade? But me and Bobby Slade were the best rappers. So, you know, Bobby Slade had that light voice, that light type voice. Bobby Slade, he did MC Shy D. You know what I mean? And me, I took the little posse on Broadway, you know what I'm saying? You know, my posse on Broadway, I did mine off that style. He did his off MC Shy D. So he did his, you know what I mean? I remember some of the raps, you know. So I remember, I said, pass the test, ITBS. You want to pass another, you got to pass the test, because ITBS is coming in April. Grab the pencil, but don't forget the staple. That's all I remember, but I was kicking it like that at 8, man. You know what I'm saying? 8 years old, man. I was kicking it like that. I remember the rest of it now. But when I got through saying that, man, they were like, No, I'm thinking I'm bad. You know, I'm thinking I'm bad. I'm thinking I'm bad. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. You know that music started cultivating me, man. And one of the good perks about living in that area was celebrities used to come to Archer High. And every time a celebrity came to Archer High, the principal would call everybody from the elementary school to come out and see them. So you had Pitts on this side, you had Archer High on this side, you had a fence right down the middle. You know what I mean? And so they called us to the fence, man. One time when I went out there one time, and this tour bus was out there, right, parked in front of Archer High. Man, New Edition got off that bus and walked from the school bus, from the bus to the tour bus in the school. And there was a lot of artists that came. Jeffrey Osborne came to the school. DJ Quick, the Fat Boy, came to the school one time. And they wanted to sign somebody from that. It was a girl rapper, man. It was a girl. They wanted to sign her, man. So I got to see all that, man. You know, it was just, you know, and so I migrated from Pitts and went from Pitts to Archer. And I was doing the football thing the whole while. I was doing the football thing because, you know, I want to play, you know, football, you know. And so did that, got to archer, and I got in the orchestra band, played the tuba there, upright tuba there. I was part-time marching band. I really just did with the marching band when they had the, you know, the marching band events. You know, I only did like maybe one of them. They had one at East Point. You know, I did that right there. And so after that, you know, it was like all of my friends was in the grade above me. I also, you know, we were doing the dancing and the singing thing too, and that dancing was hard. We was in that singing, got in the singing group, you know what I'm saying, called 4L, you know what I'm saying, what's up 12, what's up Robert, what's up Elroy, man, and myself, yours truly. And we used to perform at the assembly, man. My grandmama liked that, man. She loved to come up there and see her perform, man. She liked her with that singing, man. But we did that. And we were popular at the school for that right there, man. You know, our style was like boy to men, high five, mid condition. We were like that. And so we did that, man. And then, you know, we did talent shows and everything, man. You know, with the dance, we did the Sharon Showcase. You know, we won Sharon Showcase talent show, man. We were on her talent show, one of her talent show, man. So yeah, man, we did that right there. And it was just cool. It was just, man, you know, you just had something to do in the community like that. And so after, you know, I see my friend leaving, I'm like, dang, you know, I was like pimping, I'm like, man, I ain't studying this shit right here, man. I ain't studying those, you know, but I went the other way with it, man. I went to summer school, night school, 2 years in a row. I ain't told my mama this, you know what I'm saying? But I withdrew myself from school, you know what I mean? I withdrew myself from school and did everything I was supposed to do. You know, I told them I had a baby on the way, but I did. You know what I'm saying? I got up out of there, got the work done. So, well, with my senior year in school, I came in there with all my hours, handed it to him, walked back out the door, and that was it. Hit my partner up at the time, T-Ron. We been a long time friend, man. And we started, he said, man, let's start a rap group. And I'm like, rap? But I didn't think I already knew how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Started a rap group called Negative Ground. Started writing. Started rapping over instrumentals and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Then we were like, okay, man, we got to start making beats. So we think what the name of that song? I don't know. I can't think about what the name of this. But we reproduced the song. Moments in Love, I think it was. We reproduced that beat. Dun 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 dun. We reproduced the beat and rapped over it and went to the studio, man. And boy, it was whack. If the song went whack, I just didn't like my boy, man. He ain't come out right. That voice ain't come out right, man. They picking at me and everything. I'm like, man, we got to do better than this, man. And they ain't want to go back in and reproduce that. But I was mad, boy. You know what I'm saying? I was mad. But anyway, you know, and I was like, bro, we don't like this. I don't like this, man. We got to do better than this. So I got in the phone book, found a studio called 12 Play. LL, shout out to LL, man. We went out to 12 Plays and did it, man. And the recording there was real. It wasn't nothing like none of this stuff right here. You just, you know what I'm saying, do 8 ball, you know, do an 8 count, drop your beat down, and that's it. That's all you know, man. It was real. We were doing analog. We were recording to cassette tapes, so we're analog recording, man. And, you know, it was for real. I had to play the beat. The song was 3 minutes long. I got to play the beat for 3 minutes long. I mean, well, bro got to play the beat for 3 minutes long. He was doing the beat. I got to play the music for 3 minutes long. And you can't mess up, because you mess up, that's it. That's studio time. You got to be on point, you know. So we did that, man. Got like 13 songs done. My grandmama, she did that. She you know, because she seen the talent in us and she liked us. So we did that. And them 13 songs eventually got to the attention of Big E through my cousin Dollar Bill, man. Shout out to Dollar Bill, man. Got, you know what I'm saying, got through my cousin, man, and he liked it. So, you know what I'm saying, he started investing in us, man, and that thing, you know, we went in there and did a song. We called our group Negative Ground, you know what I mean? And we produced all our music, we wrote our own raps, and when we went in the booth, we didn't have no tablet in front of us. We practiced at home, and when we went to the studio, we didn't have no tablet in front of us, man. Just like that. And so we went in there and did that, man. And, it, you know, yeah, it rung some bells, man. There's some people out there they found out about us, man. They found out about us. You know what I'm saying? They knew about us. You know what I'm saying? Grab some folk. It grabbed some folk. But, you know, like I say, we just didn't have the lightness we needed to get us over the hump and get us where we needed to be professional and business wise. You know, we had good material, but, you know, we just needed, you know, we didn't know everything. So, but it was a good experience, man. And so after that, you know, everybody kind of died down and everybody parted ways, man. I wanted to just keep doing it, man. I was like, man, we went this far. This what I do. You know, this what I was put here to do. I really do this, you know. So I went on and I signed up to Art Institute. Went to Art Institute for about a year and a half and took up multimedia. So multimedia is web design, script writing, audio, video production, all that, typography, everything wrapped up in a bundle. You know, I went in there, learned everything I needed to learn. I didn't graduate, but I never forgot what I was taught. So did that, and then I went from there to AIU to try to learn the business side, but it was exactly what it was, the business side, but not the music business side. So did that. I didn't graduate from there neither. But I went to this school called Goodwill Career Center's Business Now, and they teach you how to write business plan, and that's why I met my fiance, met my wife at. You know, we clicked up because we was on the same page with the business thing. So you know what I mean? I did that. You know, did the music and stuff. You know what I mean? Went back into it. Now I got to go back because from Adamville. Let me just go back and rewind back. From Adamville, I got into a little something in Adamville. And I ain't even talk about my partner, man. My bad. When I was in Adamville, let me go back to Adamville, man. I started, I guess I was right. I'm getting right on along to it. I went to school. I was right on track. Excuse me, y'all. I was right on track. So when I got stopped school and everything, you know, my grandmama passed, man. That broke my heart, man. I ain't having the man push through that school, man, because that was somebody I love dearly, man. So I just didn't have it to go through, so I stopped. And she left a little something behind for me, man. And I was smart. I was 24 at the time. I was smart, man. So I took that, bought my own studio, man. She left me the house and everything. You know what I mean? She left me the house and everything like that. I thought I heard something. She left me the house and everything, man. And so I set up the studio in the house, bought my own equipment and everything like that, man. And at the time, I met my partners who I was working with, and they was doing their thing, man. You know, I met up with them. They was 13 and 16 at the time. I found out that they could rap. So I took them up under my wing, man, and I groomed them with their writing skills because they already knew how to rap, but I groomed them with their writing skills. And then eventually I trusted them enough, man, with the studio, and I taught them how to produce their own beats, how to record their own vocals. Because at first I was doing everything for them. And I would go into work, so I would go to work, come home, and then when I come home, I would have to work with them. And after a while, I was like, man, I got to teach these boys how to produce so I can make my job easier. So that's exactly what I did. Shout out the dog. Shout out. I think they call themselves VIP or VIP. I think they were called. But, man, they're my partners, man. You know what I mean? Y'all know who y'all is, man. Y'all let them know about me, man. I know y'all progressed on and did y'all thing, and I'm proud of that. I was able to share that gift with y'all, and they went on to do great things, man. But I taught them boys how to produce and do their own stuff. So when I went to work, they got so good at it. I went to work, and when I came back, they said, I got 3 songs done. I said, okay, I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to touch up, I'm going to touch everything up and make it sound good, and y'all just do y'all vocals. You know what I mean? And that was it. You know what I mean? So I got some of that under my belt, man. You know what I'm saying? I was teaching at the age, 24. I was teaching people that craft how to perfect their craft. So that's why I feel like I could be beneficial to you. But after that went down, and I had to go sit down for a little minute. You know what I mean? But yeah, I left them there, man. You know, now we living in Adamville, man. So I let them know where everything at, man. You know, anybody start something, man. You know where it's at. But y'all stay in here and do what you got to do. But I had to sit down for a little minute, man. And when I got out, got from away from that, You know what I mean? Then that was a Goodwill Corona Center thing, and I met my fiance at the time, you know, my wife, you know. But before then, I already had, let me go back. So after that, around about 2007, because I, you know what I'm saying, the hiatus was from 2004 to 2007, about 3 years. I just said, forget it. If I'm going to get in that kind of trouble making music, forget it. I ain't going to do it. That's why I left it alone. So the man upstairs was like, okay, you going to get back into this and do this. You know, me at the age, I booked. Like, oh, I ain't doing it. And when I booked, I suffered and tormented. Like you told me, you going to do something about it or you going to get tormented. So I went on and got back on into it. And I went to the Guitar Center in Hateville, because I stayed on Buffalo Road at the time. I went to the Guitar Center in Hateville, man, just look around, man, kind of, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what I'm getting, I've been on the hiatus. So one of the store salesmen came in there, he seen me looking at the keyboard, he said, yeah, he said, you want to get one of them right there? I said, yeah, you know, what is it? He said, it's a MIDI controller. So me not knowing, I'm like, well, it got sounds on it or whatever? He like, well, no, you use this. They'll communicate your keyboard with your plugins and sound off your plugins. Okay, you want to get it? Oh, what the hell? I put a little money on it, put it on layaway, got it out. So that's in 2007. So from then on, I started getting pieces by piece by piece by piece by piece. Then around about 2010, I went back to Decatur, stayed with my mama for a while, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know that at the time, you know, that's where I met my fiance, who turned out to be my wife. So she seen what I was doing. She was like, man, you need to do something with this. I was like, man, forget this junk, man. I just went through some trouble. Well, she like, no, you need to do it, you know. I was like, all right, man, you know, I'm going on and did it. And so again, piece by piece and that thing, you know, I had a little studio set up. Try to record in secret. I ain't want nobody knowing what I was doing, man, because you know what I'm saying. You trying to be successful, man. You can't be letting everybody know what you doing, man. Folk, you know, people be, you know, they be on that stuff. But anyway, you know, but I did that, and then we moved from Decatur to the country. I said to myself, I told my wife, I said, now we get out here, I already know my fate I already know what the fate gonna be. It gonna happen. And we end up getting it, man. We got us a house, man. I set up shop, went through my learning curve, got me a single done, put the single out. But the thing with the single was, I'm thinking I'm gonna just put this out because I was on an old record label with all the thing. Put it out and they gonna listen and buy it, but no, it didn't work out like that, you know. So I had to do some research. I got on the shoulders of some giants, producers, mastering engineers, producers, business, marketing, you name it. And I started doing a whole bunch of research, a whole bunch of production. I was going to work, coming home, producing my music. Then I had a day where I went to work, came home, did research. Then I ain't work on the weekend, so sometimes I work through the weekday, produce. Then on the weekend, I do my research with my, my business side. So it was different phases where I did it in. And then I turned around and I said, I'm gonna do it better the next time. So we right here today with Back Alive. I finished Back Alive. I haven't released it yet, but I finished it. Got the product done. So I'm doing everything, and the response is a little bit better. It's a little bit, I hooked up my social media. I had to learn about social media and get all that stuff set up. So I got the music done. I got my website where I got music and merch. You know what I'm saying? You want to check that out, you go to MisterClassics.net. MisterClassics. But anyway, which leads me around to Jambox 101. And this is a way for me to bring value to what I'm doing. Besides doing the music, I got something to offer to help people that, that might want to do music just like me and want to get better, want to perfect their craft and want to do better. So I done went through all the pitfalls for you. I done did all the research for you and everything. So I be doing mentorship. I be doing one-on-one sessions. Live sessions. If you want to hook your studio up, you got your equipment, but you don't know how to hook it up. You want to know which mic to buy, or which computer to buy, or you got settings or whatever, something you don't understand, you jam somewhere, call me, get me on a one-on-one session. But you email me at MisterClassics MisterClassics@gmail.com. MisterClassics@gmail.com. Or you can reach me at my website. I got a contact button that's on my website, on my homepage. You go to MisterClassics.net, MisterClassics, hit the contact page, email me, and you can also DM me at Instagram. Go in the search, type Mr. Classics, MisterClassics. So that's the way you'll be able to contact me. But this is the introductory video. I gave you my story, let you know how I was inspired, gave you a little backstory on me, and that's pretty much it. But the lesson 1 will be coming up soon, and I'll let everybody know if you're interested. Just like I said, go on and email me at MisterClassics@gmail.com. Go to my IG, DM me and say, hey, Mr. Classics, I'm interested in what you're doing. That way, when I promote it and blast it, I make sure I send a personal message to you so you can know when I'm about to air. I'll let y'all know about the time when I'm going to air the show ahead of time so y'all can get prepared and learn something good, man. But with that being said, I go by Mr. Classics, and welcome to the introduction video, of Jambox 101. Until next time, I'll see y'all later.
Say, man, I go by the name of Mr. Classics, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, and I got something new, fresh, and exciting for y'all, and I think you gon' like it. Yeah. Welcome to the Jambox.
Catch y'all next time, man.
Welcome to the Jambox 101. Welcome to the Jambox.